Chapter 2. Awakening as a slime Mox ooze dropped into consciousness with the vibrant warmth of life surging through his gelatinous form. Little was he prepared to find just how much his new existence as a dungeon slime differed from the bustling life he remembered, or at least the life he thought he remembered. Memories now felt like fleeting wisps of fog, non-corporeal and ethereal. What he clung to was the flicker of a simple thought. He owed a debt. Ugh, what a mood, he murmured, though the sound was more like the sibilant hiss of flowing water than human speech. What does one do when one is a slime? Mox rolled with a slight squish, testing his consistency. His form was a vibrant green, glimmering with the essence of damp moss and the sparkle of mineral deposits. He felt a strange liberation in his new body, a sense of agility and buoyancy that hinted at the possibilities stacked like the high rocks in the cavern above. But freedom came attached to an unwavering burden. "Repay my debt. Keep the dungeon running," he mumbled solemnly. "Where do I even start?" He floated uncertainly through the cavern, spiraling in an uncoordinated pattern with no real destination in mind. The dungeon, his home, was vast and labyrinthine. Stalagmites loomed like sentinels around a winding path lined with the scuttling bodies of mice and the flutter of wings from unseen bats. The dim light of his torch cast haunting shadows that danced upon the walls, which undulated with strange toadstools and creeping tendrils. As Mox drifted further into the depths, a sudden sound shattered the silence. The plink of boots echoed on stone as a party of adventurers approached the dungeon's entrance. Panic surged through him, not the fear of being seen, but more concern over what they might demand from him. He remembered the greedy dungeon master's words echoing in his mind. "Knock, and you shall find treasures untold." It felt like a curse rather than an invitation. "Ooh, while we're at it, how do I even defend myself?" Mox asked, his form quivering with uncertainty. What special skills do slimes have besides being, well, slimes? He wondered about confrontation when a quick vibration coursed through him, sending delightful shivers along his gooey surface. Instinct took over, and he expanded slightly with a bright thought. What if I could absorb them? As if he had just discovered a hidden power, Mox concentrated on the thoughts of absorption merging, melding, uniting. He watched the adventurers, who were clad in leather armor and chainmail. Each of them exuded the air of valor. What a contrast to his own gelatinous clumsiness. "Look, another slime," one of the adventurers exclaimed, pointing excitedly. "Just look at that cute little blob." Were they talking about him? Mox felt a tad of warmth bubble inside of him for a moment, as if he were being complimented, but the memory of his debt soon bubbled back to the surface. "Cute, cute," he breathed incredulously. Excitement, bright pink tendrils arched outward from Mox as if summoned by magic, coalescing into shimmering light. He wasn't sure what it would do, but it felt right. "What's happening to it?" The courageous woman gasped, eyes widening in awe. "This thing is just dissolving into a puddle," the burly man scoffed, trying to knock Mox with the hilt of his sword, but Mox swayed nimbly to the side, evading what might have been the end for him. "No, not that!" Mox begged, trying to push focus into his moves, and something curious happened. The man's sword slipped into him instead, as if he were a sentient sponge. Glowing tendrils slid around the steel, and suddenly Mox was filled with an exhilarating rush. "Hey, it absorbed my sword," shouted the man, taken aback as he stumbled back. "Let's thank it for its services." The woman giggled, stepping forward cautiously. Mox could feel the heat rising from her body. There was a synergy beneath it all, something alive and pulsing. "Ah, yes, attraction! This could work!" Mox exclaimed as he summoned even more energy through the scattered excitement of the adventurers. Perhaps he could siphon pieces of skill, a fleeting thought washed through him, or even experience to fortify himself against encounters. "Stay back," the man warned, his bravado cracking as he spun and pulled another adventurer back, edging towards the darkness. Perhaps aware of his incompetence, Mox retracted the glowing tendrils, the remnants of the sword manifesting as flickering sparks across his form. It's okay, the woman soothed, a hand reaching outward to steady him. "We're not trying to hurt you. Well, not really. We just thought you'd be more menacing." "Yeah, Mox trapped, here to repay debt," he sputtered, internally agonizing over how his situation had become an absolute mess. "I get it. A debt. Mox, you're a dungeon slime in a dungeon. Aren't you supposed to be running it? Isn't it supposed to be the dungeon master? Mox warbled, lifting the gelatinous mass of his form appealingly. A master, huh? She repeated thoughtfully, and he could almost see the gears of intrigue churning behind her shimmering blue eyes. Listen, it's simple. The warrior snapped, recovering his bravado, spear in hand. You're just another beast in the dungeon, barely a threat. We'd rather deal with you than those skeletons roaming at the outer traps. That's your logic? Mox asked in disbelief. Hey, the young woman interrupted teasingly. I have an idea. Let's give Mox a chance. The remaining adventurers shared looks of skepticism. The warrior sighed. Fine, but we'll keep our weapons ready, just in case this slime turns nasty. That's fair, I suppose. You may find I'm more than just a blob, Mox emphasized, microlayers of slimalicious goo glistening in the air. As if summoned by the moment, the clatter of bones echoed from a distance, followed by an ominous sound that dropped into the pit before them from the shadows. Skulls and Deb, he declared, surprising himself. The feeling surged through him like wildfire until the sword started to glow beside him, shaking its iron point straight toward the approaching threat. Come on, Mox, win us this fight, the woman shouted over the cacophony. Right, he replied with unexpected confidence, pulling everything inward until at last he stretched outward, tendrils racing forward, consuming one of the skeletons entirely. It glimmered momentarily, full of energy absorbed, shifting like mercury before evaporating. Hey, it wasn't a shout that came next, but admiration that had spread abruptly in the small, dingy cavern. Look, it's turning into something else, the woman exclaimed. Mox quivered, sloshing his echoing form as he observed. A small, thin knife appeared, forged from their fallen foe, a weapon born from the remains of his adversary. Eagerly, he sloshed forward with renewed vitality. I can transform? Mox grinned, newfound confidence swelling inside him. Let's get this party started. With each enrobing enemy, Mox danced in cohesion, absorbing their remains into his own being. Each few moments morphed into a small victory, until the final skeleton crumbled into harmless dust, littering the stone floor in eerie tranquility. Bring it on, he murmured triumphantly. All right, Mox, you did it, the woman cheered, her eyes sparkling with awe. Together with us, we'll clear the dungeon, right? Mox's heart surged with a blend of friendship and determination, the crushing weight of his debt somehow growing lighter with laughter fluttering through the moist air. Absolutely, he replied, and together they set forth through the shadows of the cavern. Before their eyes lay depths unexplored, hidden wonders awaiting beyond the darkness, and yet a vision loomed above. The looming threat of the dungeon master still overshadowed everything. Together, he told himself again, firm and resolute, I will find a way, I will repay my debt. And thus they ventured deeper into the night, echoing out into the unknown, forging bonds in purpose and escapades that lay hidden beyond what even the darkness dared to whisper.